AITA for being a single mom in my 40s who doesn't want to date single dads. 40s-50s? When I was 22, I had 2 kids under the age of 2 with my ex-fiancée. I came home from work one day after picking up the kids from daycare to find my ex had left, took all his clothes, our emergency money, and every piece of electronics from our apartment and left. I called everyone we knew for months to try and find him. All I got from his parents was he was okay, and he would contact me when he was ready. Finally, after about 6 months, his sister admitted he had been cheating on me for years. His affair partner had graduated from college, got a job offer across the country, and he had moved with her. My oldest was 1.5 years old, my youngest was about 3 months old, and I was a single mom by the ripe old age of 22. We haven't heard from him since. Honestly, the relationship was shit, and it wasn't a huge adjustment to being a single mom. I finally realized he was truly gone and tried to date again. I had strict rules on dating men. They wouldn't meet my kids until we had dated for at least 6 months and were seriously talking about a future. I would only go on a date after the babysitter, and I put the kids to bed at 7:30 and had to be at home by 11 to relieve the sitter and go to bed to be up in the morning with my kids. I had 100% custody 100% of the time. I couldn't just leave to go do anything spontaneous. And I certainly wasn't going to spend the night anywhere. As you can imagine, this didn't go well. I usually got 3 responses to my dating rules. 1. I didn't put enough effort into the relationship. 2. The men weren't ready to be dads in their early to mid-20s. And 3. They didn't want to parent another man's kids. Which even then, I thought was fair enough. Rarely did I go on a date with a man more than a couple times. At 25, I came to the realization a relationship just wasn't in the cards for me. I quit dating completely, went into therapy, and started taking night classes at a community college instead of spending money on sitters to go on dates. I pretty much focused on giving my kids everything they needed and most of what they wanted. Those years were crazy. I scratched my way up the corporate ladder. I got a higher education. And when I wasn't at work or school, I was with my kids. My kids and I did everything together. If I wanted to go to the movies, we went to the movies, age appropriate of course. If I wanted to get my hair done, we went and got our haircut/done. When I went to therapy, we went to therapy. I took the fact that I had to be both mom and dad very seriously. My social life was basically zero. If I couldn't take my kids to an event, we didn't go. We called ourselves the 3 Musketeers. I also became what my therapist called hyper-independent. I cleaned my house, mowed my lawn, did all of the repairs, took out my own trash, etc. on my own. If I didn't know how to do it, I learned. I put a lot of pressure on myself to not need anyone for anything. My kids and I were our own island. Very rarely did I ask for help with anything. My kids grew into wonderful people. They're adults now and have adult jobs. They're both in long-term relationships, 4 years and 2 years. They are smart, responsible, and the 2 most amazing people I have the honor of knowing. But, like most adults in long-term relationships and good-paying jobs, they moved out. We still talk every day/2 days. We still hang out once a week or so. But I am very conscious of the fact they need to live their lives. I'm not their everything anymore. They went and grew up on me. About 6 months ago, my kids had a come to Jesus talk with me. They were worried I spent too much time alone and wanted me to start dating again. I agreed that it might be nice to dip my toes back into the dating pool. The issue I'm having is I state pretty clearly on dating sites my children are adults and I'm not looking for more kids. For some reason, many men take that as I'm not looking to give birth to more children. But no, I'm not looking for any children at all. But for some reason, this is getting lost in translation and I predominantly match with men with younger kids. The men who have contacted me have children anywhere in ages 4 to 14. I explain that I'm not interested in dating someone with minor children. They get angry at me since I'm a single mom and I should know how hard it is. And they're right. I am a single mom. I know how hard it is. And I'll be damned if I do it again. They get mad when I state basically the same things I heard as a single mom in my 20s. They wouldn't have time for a relationship. I don't want to go back to a parental relationship. And I don't want to parent another woman's children. I get the pushback the kids are with their moms half the time. That means half the time they're with their dad, and I don't want a man ditching his kids to go on a date to hang with me. One dad was like, but I only have them every other weekend. Like, dude, do you think only seeing your kids 4 times a month is a turn-on? Especially to a single mom? Or they're like, you won't even meet them the first year. So that means at a minimum, if it goes anywhere, I'll have to deal with a teenager for a couple years.